Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, March 22nd, 2021. That's a lot of twos in there, isn't it? And I hope that your Monday is off to a great start. Looks like it's going to be a glorious weather week here in north central California, and I am excited about that. May finally be able to get a little bit of sun. Let's get down to the topic today. YouTube terminations, YouTube suspensions. I've got a lot of questions. I've been in YouTube. This is my 8th year starting up here, and I've had a lot of tangles with the YouTube system, particularly way that the YouTube system is policed. And the number one takeaway for 2021 is that things have changed, and they have changed dramatically. What used to be acceptable on YouTube and monetizable in the pre-2021 days has changed today. And the demands and the rules and the regulations are much tighter now. Plus, algorithms have developed to such a point that it's relatively easy, or getting easier over time, to weed out the bad players on the platform. And that's a big change. If you're used to the way that things were, you expect that that's the way it'll always be. That type of linear thinking, or that expectation that things don't change, is wrong. The platform continues to evolve. Algorithms get better. There's a whole core of software engineers that their whole dedicated goal, I believe, at YouTube is to make things as automated as possible using developing AI, artificial intelligence technology, to do more and more of the functions that humans have to do. And I really believe that that's the goal, because why? It'll yield greater profit efficiency for YouTube. Less human intervention, more robotic AI intervention. Okay, i.e. more money in the pocket. Also, advertisers are much better at being organized in terms of their efforts to direct the flow of where a platform goes. This is probably different from the old days. We remember the days of 2016, 2017, when a lot of big time advertisers quit YouTube en masse because of the direction and the non-policing of the platform. That sent a very powerful message to YouTube. And for those who listen and were tuned in on the right frequency, the message was this: advertisers steer this platform, whether you like it or not. And to grow a platform with a growing number of advertisers, as YouTube has succeeded in doing, and growing watch hours to become by far the #1 video sharing platform, they had to bend to the will of those advertisers and make the changes that needed to be made. Plus, with Congress's intervention, the Child Online Protection Act, etc., YouTube really got the message. It's not just that, it's a worldwide organization, and Google has been under pressure from the European Union and other factions to do things to clean up the platform, quote unquote. Well, let's get down to the realities, though, of channels in 2021 and channel suspensions and terminations. As far as YouTube is concerned, suspensions and terminations are basically the same thing. Let's be real about that. And for 2021, for somebody to say they don't understand why their channel was terminated, it's probably being very just disingenuous. And the #1 reasons come down to this. First, there was something, and this is what I want to get into, the change of the quote 3-strike system, which is actually a 4-strike. You get one warning strike, which doesn't count for anything except to give you a little slap upside the head to wake you up. And then once you get that one and done, you only get one of them, then forevermore you're on the 3-strike system. 3 strikes and you're out. Well, some people shake their head. How did termination happen when I didn't have any strikes at all? Well, obviously there was something that occurred within your channel, either the dynamics of being there or the dynamics of content, that caused the triggering, and YouTube to take a look at that. And you know what? They just totally bypass the 3-strike system, and they get right to the meat of the matter, and they remove you from the platform. In recent cases, it's been people who insisted on, number one, disrespecting the platform and publicly making statements that they would not return to YouTube. It was not good for business. It was not a good business model. Well, guess what? After a few months, they rediscover in their mind, no, it's a great platform to be on. It's a great place to be. Not only do they give you a chance to share your videos and live streams, but if you're lucky enough to be monetized, you make a little bit of coin too. Naturally, people can't stay away when there's that economic incentive. But these days, when you're removed wholesale without any going through the strike system, there's something there that obviously rubs YouTube the wrong way. And what that is usually bringing back, coming back when you were banned off of the platform. And it's very easy now for them to go back and see the various iterations of how this channel came to be again. It might take some time, I don't know, to investigate that. I don't get involved in that anymore on doing all that because it was a pain, you know, to be involved in that process. But I can tell you this, if you harbor any expectation of bringing back terminated channels, as I was able to do multiple times in the past, there was a reason that they were brought back, okay? Because when a bit of time went past and YouTube retook a look at it, they look at the videos that got the strikes, and in amongst those videos, they took a look at those videos, and yeah, they found one or two that their team probably decided weren't worthy of receiving strikes, hence the channel came back. These days, I think the likelihood of that is really, really small, especially if you're a ban evader and you try to convince yourself that you have no idea what happened, that you followed the rules and terms and conditions of YouTube, when you know yourself you didn't follow the rules and conditions of YouTube, when you insist in coming back when it said you shall not access, create, or upload to any other YouTube platform. Well, we all know that people could dance around that in the old days, and well, YouTube kind of turned a blind eye. But I think in 2021, their campaign is to really weed out that type of activity. So the message gets out, which it has, big time, that you better take it seriously, the gift that you're offered to be here on YouTube, and you better protect it. And you better not be engaging or doing things that could violate the terms and conditions. In other words, things are tightening up dramatically here, and I expect them to be so in the future. Hey, that's just my take on it. I want to thank you guys for being along today. Your questions and comments are welcome below, and thumbs up are always appreciated. Thank you, YouTube, and thank you to you guys. Have a great Monday.